Give us a sense, what can we know, or at least project, about where we are in the progress of this disease, given what we saw in Wuhan province?
Yeah, so the data that are coming in from China, from Korea, are really interesting. There's been a lot of panic and a lot of focus on very, very high mortality numbers. But the thing to remember about those numbers is that they're measuring people that show up at the hospital or already have severe conditions. Just like almost any cold or flu, there's a range of reactions. Some people get very, very mild sickness, and some people have a much more severe illness. We're not measuring the people with a mild illness, and so the mortality numbers people suspect are likely to be lower than being reported. So, for instance, in Korea, where they've measured, South Korea, where they've measured a much larger population of people, the mortality rate looks like a very, very bad case of the flu, as opposed to mortality rates in the 2s or 3s, which would be much, much worse, 20 times worse than the flu.
So
the times worse than the flu.
Mortality rate is lower, but in part because it sounds like probably more people have it in the United States than we realize about. What about the testing process? Is it realistic to expect us to test millions of people across the United States?
Yeah, the test right now, what they have is basically an RNA test, which is, if you have the virus and you have the condition, you can test and you can see that you have it. But once you're cured, once you clear the virus, you no longer test positive. So we don't have a test yet to see, but at least widely available test to see whether you have had the virus and recovered from it directly. That you test by seeing that you have it, and then later you test again and you don't have the virus. Then we infer that you've recovered. But we don't have a test to say, okay, you have antibodies. So it's a little hard to answer that question. And actually, this is a theme I want to bring up. It's really uncertain right now. There's many, many, many variables still yet to be cleared up. We don't know really the death rate. We don't know fully the recovery rate. And I think this is partly why you're seeing essentially a worldwide panic in response to this. It's not just how severe the condition is, which I think is probably less severe than we're seeing, but the uncertainty around that. And that's, I think, leading to a lot of the economic effects that we're seeing with the virus.